If you have ever gotten down on yourself, beat yourself up, or if you still do it, I should say, this video is for you. I spoke to several people in the last couple days that said, I get so down on myself, or I beat myself up. I think about I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Now, I would venture to guess that all of us knows this is not good for your mind, your body, your enjoyment of life. Yet, why do we do it? Why does it happen? So, when we talk about this topic, people will say, yeah, I know, I know, I know, I know. Then why do we do it and how do we stop? If you've watched a lot of my videos or if you know me at all, I talk all the time about the absence of judgment. Enlightenment is the absence of judgment. Dalai Lama. So, getting down on yourself, beating yourself up, thinking you should be better, you should do more, be more, that's ultimately just judgment. And it all boils down to you're not enough, which is probably the most deepest underlying trick of the ego or the belief of the ego. Because realistically, it's not necessarily just a trick, it's a deep core belief that we all have. And that as we become more embodied as source, as who we truly are, who we've always been, that belief must be washed away. It must be seen and transcended for you to live a life of joy and enjoyment. And the good news is you don't have to fight it. Change doesn't happen from fighting and battling and trying to make yourself better. It actually happens with clarity. So, clarity brings enjoyment in life, and awareness starts on its own. We woke up, I didn't set a timer and say, I'm going to wake up on whatever day. You start awakening to higher levels of awareness automatically. It's natural and it's happening. But the key is whether or not you're going to let your awakening and your embodiment be easier or if you're going to make it harder. So even though it's happening all by itself, let's be real, it can go quickly and smoothly, or it can take a while. There's a train passing by. Close my window. So, how do we get out of this cycle, this vicious cycle of I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda done better? Take a breath with me and just notice anywhere in your life that your mind likes to loop around to the past, okay? And even today, I should be better. I should be more. I should be further along. I should look at the neighbors. What are they doing? Look at your family. Oh my God, look at the people on social media. They seem to have it all together, don't they? So, in order to unwind these things, I'll share with you what I've done and what I like to do. Now, when I was talking to someone yesterday, we were in a car ride traveling. I was actually going to get my daughter from college. And I said, you know what? I don't do it. I don't beat myself up. Not a lot of humans, I think there's probably less than 1% of people that can say that. Based on the people I talk to, maybe you're out there. I don't know. But I don't. So, right now, I'm going to encourage you to shift this habit completely, fully, and make a commitment to yourself. So, if you're in, take a deep breath with me. Feel your presence. Feel your power as creator. Just feel that I am alive and say, I'm done. No more. No more. Now, oh, that sounds easy for most people, but what's really going to happen tomorrow? How does the mind come and trick you into doubting yourself, beating yourself up, self-deprecation? You're not good enough. I wonder if I'm fill in the blanks, a good enough parent, employee, friend, human being. So I personally came at these things, these judgments, I'll call them, from every angle. I like to look at everything physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. And these patterns go back lifetimes to first separation. So don't beat yourself up if you are doing this because they're so old, they're ancient, and they're just designed to keep us safe and to make us better. But now, when you awaken and you realize, I am source, I am one with all that is, you don't need to hold this on. And in fact, you can't carry this type of density with you into the new energy and have a joyful life. So let's start with logic because the ego is always going to use logic. So, again, why do smart people get sucked into this trap? Well, you're sitting here saying, I could have done better. I'll use parenting because that's an easy example that all parents can relate to, but you can relate it to anything in life. I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have, would have, should have, or I still could do more. I could be better. You can always be better. So, logically, are you doing your best? Have you always done your best in every moment? And what is the best? Whose version of best? And do you know that we all have unique journeys as souls and we took on things to overcome in this lifetime? You have a universal job, and that's to awaken, right? To wake up and embody who you truly are. So when you do that, you're going to be overcoming all the separation, all the fear, all the density, all the contrast. The ego has not always acted out of love. It's been every other emotion possible: blame, shame, anger, meanness. We've all been unkind. We've all been struggling. So, logically, you have to look at all of humanity. Every person on the planet has struggled. Nobody is perfect according to the ego, and the ego will not allow you to be perfect no matter what. So, you have to ask, what is perfection? And then what is true? What is true about what should a parent be? What should a friend be? How much money should I have? What kind of house should I have? How should I live my life? What's really true? Who's the authority creating all these boxes we're trying to fit into? And when you start to ask what is really true, you begin to feel more and more, oh my God, nothing is ultimately true. But if you let your mind compare yourself to other people, you're going to compare yourself to this person, this person, this person. Let's say you're on social media, there's hundreds of people. Every person you compare yourself to, of course, you're going to be, we'll say, more deficient in certain areas than them. So it starts by seeing what a trap this is. And what's true about you always goes back to intent. Ask yourself, do I have pure intent? Do I just want to, be the best me I can be and enjoy my life? Am I trying to go around and be terrible, awful to people, to, whatever? And if I've done it in the past, am I still doing that? So you use logic to start unwinding this and saying, no, no more. I am not going to beat myself up anymore. So, beyond logic, let's look at physical health and energy beyond just the mind. Your physical health is destroyed when you do this. I'm not even going to be nice about it. Every time you go into one of these things and you start saying, I'm not good enough, I wonder if I'm good enough, I'm blah, blah, blah. This is putting weights on your body. It creates an emotional density when you empower these thoughts. So, emotions are created when we make a judgment. Especially a negative judgment creates very heavy emotion and it puts that in your body. So now your body is carrying a load of density. From a physical standpoint, your body can no longer detox even toxins that you eat. So to have a clean and efficient energetic system is to have a clean and efficient physical body. So the more that you hold on to judgments, negativity, all these, I'm going to call them lies because nothing is true, only what you choose. Okay, so going back to what is true. Since everything and nothing is true in the world of consciousness, everything can be boiled down to beliefs. It's only what you believe and what the collective has chosen to believe as far as creating this planet. So, if nothing is true, can you just decide that everything that puts you down here is a lie and say no more? And then you get to choose, okay, what's true about me? What if? What if now you choose right now, you know what? I'm pretty darn all right. Just self acceptance. I accept myself 100%. That right there is the end of all of this. I accept myself 100%. And oh, by the way, what if, I'm pretty awesome because I'm me? This releases these heavy energies that your body has been dealing with. The energies circulate, they go through your thoughts. You keep thinking the repetitive negative thoughts. They go through your physical body. I feel heavy. I don't feel clear. Your mind doesn't feel clear. The mind feels kind of heavy, if that makes sense. Like it can be lack of inspiration. I don't feel excited to be alive. Blah. The mind can feel blah. I don't know how else to say that. The physical body is then affected. And what happens? The body and mind, it's all interconnected energetically, obviously, but it starts a loop of triggering these thoughts, and then it's a self-feeding cycle. So let's look at this energy now, because this is where, really the magic happens when you can see the energetics of it. So, first of all, okay, do I want to beat up my mind and body? What it really deserves, my giving away my health and my joy. Is this really worth giving my health away to? When you see how important it is and how impactful it is, it helps with that no more. Just no more. I will not abuse myself anymore. And I like to I don't have to do this anymore. I promise you, overcoming this is one of the best things you'll do. But I used to put little notes, I would hang them on my fridge all over, just no matter what. I will not judge myself. Never, ever, 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 ever. Because what's going to happen is we talk and, oh, yeah, 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 this all makes sense. And then tomorrow morning, you're sitting on the couch going, well, I don't know. I mean, I should be doing this or I should be doing that, or I could be doing better here, or I could be doing better there. I'm not far enough along. Whatever these thoughts are that come and suck you down a rabbit hole. Where does this come from now? So, energetically, these are frequencies that are your best friends. They've been serving you, you've been in bed together. And what we crave, this human body, this biological system, craves familiarity. Doesn't matter if it sucks, it craves comfort, which is also familiarity. And it becomes very addictive. Have you ever noticed when you're in these types of thoughts, your part of you is saying, I don't know, this doesn't sound right. I don't think this is good. But part of you is like, oh, but there's such a gravity. It draws you in. That is a familiarity with the frequency. So let's look at the frequencies, these energies and the magnetics around them. They go through every cell of your body, your DNA. They traverse through every lifetime from first separation until now. And the human body, the nervous system, is very slow to change. It needs your reassurance, and it needs repetition, and it needs patience, and it needs consistency. That is how you change these things gently and lovingly without any battles, no fights. Everything I'm talking about here is loving, kind, supportive, and gentle. So, what's happening is these frequencies are coming in saying, oh my God, she's stopped beating herself up. They are starting to dwindle away. And energies and magnetics like this, they are also, I'm going to say, they are in their familiar patterns and they're seeking to stay in their patterns, just like your nervous system. So they're going to grasp and create thoughts that are going to try to pull you back into the old pattern. So when you see this little frequency, like a hungry ghost, you can look at it and go, oh, I haven't been doing that. And now it's flaring up. It's like right before something is about to be transcended, it tends to flare up the most. You know, it's always darkest right before the dawn. Or when you're about to cross over a threshold of fear, it is always the scariest time. This is the same thing. And these frequencies have a magnetic pull on your whole system. It affects your mind and your nervous system. And at times it paralyzes people. Like you can't get off the couch because you have to problem solve this thing. You have to problem solve. And it will feel like I can't get going until I figure this thing out. And the thing itself is a phantom. It is a phantom energy that just wants to stay alive. So I find it helps me to see this thing like a separate entity that is starving because you're transcending it. Okay. So when you see that, you can go, oh, this is just hungry. That's right. What if I just take a breath and don't go there? And now you can watch it roar and this thought and that thought and try to go through the back door and the side door and come up with maybe if I can't get this person here, then I'll go this way. Yeah, but remember that time? Remember that time you said this or did that? Or did you brush your teeth last night? You know, whatever these things are. Seeing this, the clarity alone, okay, well, I'm not going to feed that because that's not what I want to feed anymore. And then taking a breath, as always, and feeling your presence and welcoming your light back, cleared and purified. So let's take a breath together. Everywhere you've been doing this, release it and welcome back your light, cleared and purified, your light, your power, your clarity. So, how do you reinforce this new way of being? Okay, another thing that a lot of us were trained to do, again, lifetimes of old energy on the beautiful earth and the falling asleep of humanity. The knee-jerk old energy reaction is to what? When you catch yourself beating yourself up, or you're down an old rabbit hole, you catch yourself comparing yourself to other people, wondering, maybe I'm really not all that in a bag of chips. When you catch this, celebrate yourself. But the knee jerk reaction is to beat yourself up, like, oh, I did it again. Oh, God. It's like just sort of pouring fuel onto the fire of judgment. But how we learn as humans is through positive reinforcement. That's what shifts your nervous system, your brain, your awareness, your clarity. Anytime, and you know, I like to take it to neuroscience too. I watch a lot of stuff on the latest and greatest findings that now science is like, oh yes, we learn through positive reinforcement. It changes the brain very fast. If you want neuroplasticity, do things in a fun way, in a supportive, encouraging, inspiring, and motivating way. So beating yourself up does not promote change. When you catch something and go, oh, you know, I want to do this, or I was doing this again and I don't want to anymore. I was going down that route. Yay, good job, good job, good job. You celebrate and you recognize that this is a gift and a beautiful thing because every time you catch something, your awareness begins to open more and more. And again, that is happening automatically. How do we close our awareness down? How do we slow the process down? By contracting, by withdrawing, by pulling in. That would be also by getting down on yourself, judging yourself, going into the ego. The way that we open awareness that we begin to unfold faster and faster and faster is by expanding energetically, physically, while joy and excitement is expansive, celebration is expansive. Your whole body, and not just your body, but all of your, we'll call it multidimensional aspects, call it the inner children if you want. When you start beating them up, do you think they're really coming to you and like ready to integrate? No, never. You actually celebrate. And, you know, I would say maybe modern day psychiatrists might call this a little weird, maybe not. But hey, I invite everybody to listen. If you've been integrating aspects and different parts of your personality that had a really hard time with self-worth and feeling loved and supported and safe, then you take a breath and you welcome them all and say, guys, we're doing awesome. Yay, team. Because you become the master of your domain. You are now becoming the king of your castle. Your domain is your body. This is your home on this planet. And it's also your mind, your body, your spirit, your essence, every level. So you become the master of that. And we're taking this back full circle to what is true. So, what is ultimately true? Because when you're sitting here thinking, oh, I'm comparing, or maybe I should have, could have, did, it's a mental game, right? It's a mental game of trying to decipher what is true. Am I judging or am I discerning? So, how do you decide what is true? And that is a beautiful question to answer. And if you can lock this in when these moments come, then this will shift everything for you. As you're sitting here, when you get caught into processing, you stop. What is true? Oh, since everything is true and nothing is true through, billions of people's eyes, there's billions of people on this earth. If you ask a billion people, you'll get a billion different answers. So, what is ultimately true? Whatever you choose as creator. So, choose what is true for you. Now, I remember going through this thinking, well, that sounds a little bit silly and fluffy. Like you're just walking around like a ninny, I'm going to say it's true that I have beautiful tan skin. That's obviously not true. Literally, you choose what to be in this world. So you get to choose what thoughts you empower. You get to choose the energy that you emanate and radiate to the world. Old energies might be lingering around you, but you can look at them and say, that's not true. That's not true about me now. It's whatever you choose now, today, your creator. It doesn't matter what you chose last week, last month, a year ago, or the last 100 or 1,000 lifetimes. You get to choose today what is true for you. And if you take a breath and say, I'm pretty darn awesome. As humans go, I'm a pretty good human. You know what? I like myself, and that's all that matters if nobody else likes me. And you know what? I'm doing the best I can, and that's more than enough. And that's that. Self-acceptance, self-love, self-enjoyment, self-appreciation, whatever you want to call it. You get to choose what's true. And when the thoughts come, no, that's not true for me now. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to unwind them. You don't have to sit and process and analyze. I mean, this is what drags people down energetically, physically, in every way. Mental processing is basically the death of your embodiment. I mean, it sucks the life out of you. So, being embodied as source is about living in presence, not living from up here, living from here. But this does not want to stop. These wheels are churning. They've been churning for a long time, centuries and millennia. And now you're going, oh, wait, I'm not a mind. I'm an eternal being. So choose what is true for you and don't let that little insidious old voice suck you into anything less than, I'm okay. You know what? I'm okay. Whatever the neighbors are doing, that's their journey. I'm right where I'm meant to be in mine. Whatever I did yesterday, I can't rewind. I am here now. What about the future? What about fear? No. I trust that life is always supporting me. Life has my back. You start to choose new truths that absolutely abolish these old thoughts. And when you catch yourself, now, I said I don't beat myself up. I do at times catch myself, or I go through, I'll call it waves of emotional and light integrations, emotional release and light integrations that I catch myself processing or thinking, or I watch the mind thinking and I'm going, oh, here we go again. So I would venture to say that everyone can relate to this, where your mind wants to think and analyze and process. You can tell if it goes into the past or it goes into the future, or it's looking at you now saying, you're not you're not doing very good. Something's wrong with your life. It creates a problem one way or another, past, present, future. It's a problem creator because it's a self-feeding cycle. Wants to create a problem and solve a problem, create a problem, solve a problem. At the bottom, at the core of that problem, you're just not enough as you are. And that is the biggest lie that we believed, that we told ourselves, that we bought into, that we're not enough. So take a breath with me now and feel it in your heart. You are more than enough. You're perfect. You know why? Because perfection is some kind of made up human idea. Your essence is perfect. Creation is every different color, billions of colors that we don't even know. And they're just experiences and expressions. And yet you can judge the experiences in a million different ways. And if you're here listening, I know you're awake and you're choosing to align with who you truly are as source. And that means you're aligning with benevolence, with isness, with consciousness. You can call it unconditional love, whatever you want. You're going beyond duality, beyond polarity into I am. I am one with my creator. And in that, with that alignment alone, everything is dissolving, but everything that is dying off is, of course, going to roar up and grasp and say, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? You created me to keep you safe. And you can smile and wave goodbye and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't need this anymore. No more getting down on myself. No more beating myself up, and no more that I'm not good enough, just exactly as I am. So say it with me. Say it loud, say it proud. I am awesome. I exist. I was created. This body was created, or I created this body, however you want to spin it. Find your truths and refuse to let them go, because we know this thing's gonna yap and it's gonna flare up. It's gonna flare up from time to time. Once you choose what is true for you and you say, that's that, I am one with Creator. I am Creator in human form. It's a done deal. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoy these videos, check out my free resources. I have a free online course. Look in the description box below, and I've got a lot more on my website. So I wish you the most enjoyable day, and I just hope you give yourself permission to feel really, really good about yourself and feel really good about life. Namaste.